Art students, Brian Proctor, the art teacher, back again with another drawing lesson. And this is going to be part 6 in the series of, what's the name of this series again? Let's make a comic book together. Is it Let's Make a Comic? I believe it is Let's Make a Comic Book Together. And so fair warning for those microwave people. Microwave people are those people that want it right away in a minute or less. There's a lecture in the beginning of this, and I believe it lasts for like 9 minutes and 8 seconds. So, but don't skip that because it's important information that tells you how you can draw better. And a lot of it is like why people can't draw. And by knowing why you can't draw, you can change that into knowing how to draw. So yeah, so there's a lecture in every class. Every good class has to start with a lecture. So eat your vegetables. Don't try to jump right to the dessert and listen to what I have to say. It's important. All right, so let's get on with the video and then learn something. All right, let's start out with this. Remember when you were young and you were learning how to do your letters, and we had paper that had these lines like this, and then you had to do your letters perfectly on the paper. You had to do the A and the small A. Who makes A's like that anymore? Then you had to do your B, keeping it in the line. Then you had to do your C and D, and then E. Now, we had to learn how to do that. That's how they taught us. Or, in other words, let's say that's how the program is. That's how we were programmed to write. So we had to learn these over and over and over, and your teacher actually even graded them, looked at them and graded it. They were like, oh, you didn't connect this. This wasn't completely connected, or this was over the line, or this. So we had to learn that. And once we learned that, we were able to we sound the letters out. We'd sound them out. Then later on we'd be able to put them together to make words for it. And we just did that over and over and over until that stuck with us, until it was our program and you couldn't change it. We now know how to write letters and read. So, but the thing is, that's the same thing with drawing. Nobody really thought about that or looked at that. Every child has the ability to draw when you're young. How many kids that you know that get a piece of paper and they do something, or they try to draw a little face, or the girls like to draw the dresses when they're young, not knowing what they're doing? But we don't encourage that. We don't encourage that. Maybe it's because one day your child or the child wrote on the refrigerator or the wall, and then the parents just scolded them so bad that they would never draw again. But drawing is in every child, and you, sooner or later, with a lot of people, it comes back out and they want to do it, but they say, oh, I can't do it. And one, they have that memory of what happened, or two, they were never encouraged to do it. And three, they say, I can't do it. But the fact is that you can draw. If you do these letters, you already know how to draw, but nobody really pointed that out to you. Now check this out. You have your triangle already. You have your oval here. You can do a circle. You have your square right here, or your rectangle. But nobody really showed you how to do that because you're programming. You were not programmed like that. As a young child, your parents programmed you. I don't want to say taught you. I want to say programmed you by, what did it say? You learn from example. Kids learn from example. So if your parents come home and they're negative all the time, oh, I had a bad day at my job, oh, I hate this, I did not. You see that and you take that with you. So that programs you. Or maybe a lot of people will write to me and say, oh, I can't draw a circle, I can't do this, and they give up. Maybe because their parents gave up. Oh, I'll never get that. I'll just try to do something else. Oh, this is not working. So you live your life with that program that stops you from doing it. But anybody can change your program. It's hard to do. It's like, this is stuck with you because this is one of the first things that you learn when you're young. And then the next thing is your name. You learn your name. So I can come behind Brian and say, hey, Frank. And Brian will never look at me because he knows his name is Brian. That program is stuck in him. His name is Brian. So if I say, oh, I'm sorry, Brian, he'll turn around and he'll look. He's like, oh, yeah, you called me? So that's the same thing with this. And Artists, remember the term starving artists? What does that remind you of? Oh, painters back in the day, they would go out on the street and try to sell their paint, and then they would just make a few dollars, and they would say, oh, artists only get rich when they die. Where did that term come from, starving artists? So when we're young, when we decide to go out and do art, whether it be trying to do comic book or whatever, that sticks with you. Oh, I don't know. Artists might not make it. I got a family to support. I have to pay insurance. I have all these things, so I'm not going to make it as an artist. So maybe I'll try to do this. I'll get a job doing this. I'll get a job doing that, because that's what was programmed into you. And even your parents could have said that to you. Well, son, artists don't really make money, or what are you going to do? You draw flowers or something? But that's not the case today. Artists make great money, but it's hard for people to get rid of that program that's stuck in them. All right, ask yourself this. Why is it that people do what they do? Why is it that they like some things, and they don't like some things? Why is it that you enjoy the things that your parents do? For the majority of us, we like the same foods our mom and dad eat. We like to watch the same movies. We like to do the same things. And that's because that's how we were programmed as a young child. That we always had pizza on Fridays or so. Every Friday, I got to have a pizza because that's my programming. Well, that's the same thing with art. Maybe they did not program you to like that. Maybe they programmed you to say, oh no, it's too hard. You won't make any money. You don't have that kind of talent. But yet inside, you really want to do that. So what you have to do is reprogram yourself. As I said, a lot of people write in and say, oh, I can't do an oval. I can't make a circle. Something as simple as that. But you do that every day when you write. You have to start saying to yourself, oh, I can do this. This is what I want. This is my goal. This is what I'm going to do. If this is you right here, and this is your goal right over here, you want to do that. This is how bad I want to do that. You'll never get there until you take that first step. You have to take that first step. Even though the programming in you said, oh, you'll never get there. You won't if you just stand there. But you have to take that first. It doesn't have to be a big step. You can shuffle your feet. You can drag your feet. You can walk sideways. But you have to go in that direction so that you can reach your goal. The only thing that is impossible is what you say is impossible. And then you'll never get it because your brain is programmed. You have programmed your brain to say it's impossible. So as far as drawing, all that is just memorizing. In the last video, I showed you guys steps to do the torso. It's just memorizing. I had to do this over and over and over, and then I memorized it. So now I can draw the perfect torso every time. And when I draw, this is how I draw. I use those shapes. That took a few seconds, and then you just start shaping it up. You already have the major shape right there. It's just something that I had to program myself to do because I wanted to do it. My parents weren't artists. They didn't sit down and show me. I had to learn this stuff for myself. I got whatever kind of books I could find or magazines, because back in the day, they really didn't have too many art books, not where I was from. So I looked in magazines, and when I started looking at comics, I started tracing. I would put put it over, and I would just trace what I saw until I pretty much had it. But tracing one picture like this, you don't know what it looks like from the back. So I had to learn, what does it look like from the back? What does it look like when he raises his arms up? So I programmed myself, and there were many times when as I said, I wanted to give up, but I said, this is what I want. I'm going to do it one day. I'm going to be a great artist one day. I programmed myself every day. I said, every time I pick up a pencil, I get better at drawing. Every time I pick up a pencil. So when I started picking up a pencil in my head, I would say, every day I pick up this pencil, I get better at drawing. And that's something you're going to have to do when you decide you want to become an artist, whether it be an artist or a writer or a dancer or a singer or whatever. You have to say, even though your parents may have said, oh, you'll never be able to do this, you'll never make that, don't give up your dream. Just keep stepping, keep stepping. It may take a while, but just keep stepping. You will get there one day. So enough of the lecture. Let's start the drawing. But just don't forget that this lesson is a very, very important lesson. A lot of times people skip stuff like this because we live in that microwave world. We want it in 1 minute or less. or we're not going to hang around for it. So don't ever skip a lecture. Don't. That's very important. So let's get to drawing. All right, now let's go over these. Because of my little lecture in the beginning, it ate up some time. I hadn't planned on that, but I figured it would be a good thing to do. I was going to draw each one of these out to show you step by step, but as I say, because of my lecture killing some time, I'm just showing you what I have. Now these are roughs that I was doing to show you the different positions that your arms are going to take or your shoulders are going to take when you move, because knowing the front position, where is it on here? Knowing your front position right here, I mean, that's good and wonderful, and that's good for like character design or for uniform design. But in your comic book, you're gonna move. Your arms are gonna go up. Your arms are gonna twist. You might not draw your side positions too much, but you will majority of the time draw three-quarter view positions. So that's the one thing I wanted to show you in this, doing the torso twice, part 2, doing the torso. What are you saying, Ryan? I don't know. So let's go over what I covered in the last video. If I can find the particular tool that I want to write with. Okay, very quickly, as I said, if you follow these steps, you will always be able to do the torso, because it's flawless. You go to the 1, 2, 3, collarbone. Okay, oval is just your overall shape. This center line is your direction line. This next line here is the bottom of your chest. This mountain here, don't touch this line, bring it under that line. The mountain here, that's the inside of your rib cage. That's where all your important stuff is stored inside your ribs, so when you fall, you don't damage some stuff. So that mountain's here. This line it basically shows where you turn, is where that turn is. See how this chest comes down and it curves up? That line would be here. That's all that is. It's just showing you where that curve is. Your collarbone comes off of your shoulder, and then it leads to your delts, your deltoid muscles right here, which is the top of the arm, which is this part right here, and then it goes into your bicep and your tricep. Just a little anatomy lesson. So once you learn this, the rest is a piece of cake. Now don't forget the V for your neck. Depends on how thick your neck is. You can have a narrow V for a little thin neck, or you can have a wider V for a thicker neck. Depends on what character. If you're drawing a woman or a man, then you make your shoulders come out a little bit more, because you already have this curve that you started with, but then you just put a triangle. That's all this is a triangle over top of that. Let me see this. You're just putting a triangle over top of that, because your collarbone, you can do a straight line across, and then your neck is from that V is going to come straight up. So you have this left over. So you're just adding some shoulder, which is just basically you're going to come up this way and then down across. You can curve it a little bit. It's just basically a triangle. And that's just half of an A. If I want to do that, so for all you people that are like, oh, I can't draw, that's just your A. You can draw. Stop, change that program. Say you can do it. So once you do this, it's the same thing. You're always going to have that oval. I don't care how he's turned or twisted or whatever, you're going to have that oval, because all this is bone. All this is bone, and it's not going to bend. It's just going to lean sideways or back and forth. That's all it is. So your direction line, whether it's going to be this direction, that direction, center over just a little bit, or over all the way, you're going to have that direction line. And that direction line is not going to be straight unless it's forward. It's kind of like a ball. If you have a ball, you have lines across the ball. And that's the same way. You have to pick a line where you want to have that collarbone come across at that chest, the chest. So if I did this one, collarbone across here. This is the line I'm going to use. Chest across here. Where is it? This is the center line, the triangle here. You can't make it go out too far. And then that there. This little curve point there. And since this is my collarbone, my arm is going to come right here. So I'm going to bring the chest out here, curve the chest here. Here's my stomach. This is my V for my head. And then you see a little bit more shoulder there, like that. Now I could have brought this neck out a little bit more to put that head back there, and then there's your arms. And it's simple, as I say, just as long as you know these lines, these lines that I taught you, it's simple. Now the hard part comes with this, your delt, because your delt moves and it causes this to move too. Everything else is going to stay stable. Your chest will go in a little bit, but it's going to stay the same. In your stomach, the only thing that's going to happen here is you might twist like that. You have the center line, and you might twist. If he's turning or running or falling or jumping, that's it. This stays the same because I said this is bone, it's not going to move. So let's just take this one for instance. You have this here. You have your collarbone, which is when you're looking straight on at the person, it's straight. But once you start to tilt that person, let me use my little dummy here, which everybody's like, where did you get that from? Where did you get that from? His arm is, oh, okay, I just fixed his arm. His arm was messing up, but he's straight. It's good now. Collarbone here, let's make it straight on. You're looking straight at it, so the collarbone is straight across here. One shoulder's down a little bit more. I talked about that in one of those videos. And then when you raise it up, the collarbone becomes more of a triangle. But when you raise this delt here, you see how this is getting closer to his neck? You raise it up. The only thing about this is this doesn't scrunch up. Now when it's just like this. Look at this. Compare the two. Let's shift this over a little bit. Compare the two here. This arm is up. And this is the closest doll that I found or that will actually mimic the body. I looked away for a second because my Alexa just lit up. It's probably listening to me. When you lift that arm up here, when you hit that delt, and this is just a circle, this will always be a circle. It pushes closer to that neck and it scrunches up this little piece here. Now, if you have one arm up, one arm down, I don't really have one. I was like this. This is what I was doing. And these are like I said, these are rough sketches for me that I was going to do a finished drawing to show you guys. But in order to keep this video short, because I want to keep them short because of the microwave world nowadays, that you don't have that much attention span. And so you always have this collarbone. Now, the collarbone is going to raise. If you bring your arms up, your collarbone is going to go up like that too. If your arms are flat, your collarbone is going to be more flat. So whenever you raise the arms, this is going to follow. So maybe you should say this is the winch that lifts the arms up and pulls the arms down, or this is the part that's hooked to the arm that's going to follow the arm. So as I say, if you have one collarbone here, it's going to go into that circle, which is shaped like this. Let's say the circle, you start out with a circle, but it comes up like that and it cups over the arm. This one is going to go up. That circle here is going to go up. So that collarbone is going to go up with it as well. Like that. And then you have the arm. I know that's small drawing, as I say, these were never meant to be shown. So the only bad thing about this is this does not raise up like it should, like right here. So if I'm drawing this is going to be, and the thing is the chest comes down as well because the chest is connected to the delt. So if I do the delt, the chest is going to follow that like that. The higher you bring this up, the more the chest is going to pull up. So if that arm was up like this, the arm was there, here's and your shoulder gets scrunched up, here's your neck here, and your head. So this is hooked to that collarbone, is always hooked to the top of that delt, and the bottom of it is hooked to your chest. So that chest is going to pull. So the higher you raise your arms, the more your chest is going to kind of like compact together. Like I said, this is a side position that you're just doing like that. Collarbone again, and it's just, as I say, it's just the same thing over and over. Just don't bring this out too far. You have to kind of gauge. Don't keep it in too narrow, and don't bring it out too far because it's just basically that egg shape. Is shape. Well, let me see if I can get one. It's like this. It's just kind of an egg shape or dome shape or mountain shape. It's not like you have this, and it's not like way out here like that. I'm sorry, you didn't see that because I didn't even see it in the camera. And once again, you have this, and it's not like way up here, way out there like that. It's just in here. Remember, you're just going to, enough room to have your abs, that's all. As I said, for the majority of your drawings, you're going to do mostly 3/4 shots anyway, 3/4 shots. And this is, your collarbone comes up, and then because it is, how can I say that? It is in the center, that little bone there. This goes around your back. So if you looked at the guy from the top, I'm trying to see some of my drawings, because there's so many little drawings that I could have done for you guys, but I wanted to just tap on the delt. So if you're looking up, let me get rid of this pen. If you're looking up on your character is going to take more of an oval shape, whereas if you're looking in the front, it's going to be like that. Let me give you an example with this guy here. Your oval here, but then when you look up, you see how it takes on that oval shape. This is more of a circle. This is more of an oval shape. So your delts, these here, they actually wrap around. So if this is your head, these are your shoulders. Without the delts, your delts actually wrap around going to the back. They're not just like right here in the front. They actually wrap around to the back. You see how far this is the front of it, and this is the back of it, way back here. I think if I can't say, this is a bad contrasting color. So whenever you do that, looking down on the person, this is your chest comes in, and your delt wraps around way around there. And this is your collarbone here, which comes into that U shape, and then it goes back into your shoulders. So chest again, delts come way back here. This is your spine, the center of your back, and this is your head right there. So if you drew arms, your arms would be down here somewhere in the other part of your arms, depending on how your arms are hanging. Your hands, I just forgot how to do a hand, and piece of a leg, and your foot. And then this guy could be looking up. Yeah. So as I said, we're working on the delt, because that is the most important part when you move. This is not going to move. Your delt is going to move. All right, so looking at the delt, it's kind of shaped almost like a heart or a upside down raindrop. Now from the side, you're basically, if you look at it like, and that's a hard thing to draw, if you look at it like a shoulder pad, I guess that's the best way to look at it. Your arm goes up under this shoulder pad. So if this is a cylinder representing your arm, here's the other part of your arm right there. So you're going to put this shoulder pad, you're just going to lay the shoulder pad right on top of it. And the shoulder pad, as I say, is shaped like a raindrop. And then your collarbone comes right to the center of that. And then this part, it bulges up here. It goes down, and then your chest comes like that. So this is connected. This part right here, it comes in to your chest, and then your chest curve down. So your chest is gonna come like this. It's gonna come up, cross, down, out, and around. Like that. So this is, whenever I draw, this is all one piece. That's why you don't see any connections or any separations in this piece right here. This is all one piece. So once you realize that, and then you keep this as one piece, it becomes easier. You see how this goes up and this comes out? It's just one piece. Now, I'll separate it here like that because this actually bulges. Like I say, it bulges out, and when you separate it, it gives them more of a stronger appearance. Let's use my dummy where I can't see my light. You can't see good light. This is not good light. Not for here anyway. For here, let's do this. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little better. Now, this is like thing is really muscular, because you do have this little V right here for when it's really muscular. But you see how it comes over and down and then into the chest. And the more you bulk this out, the stronger your character will look, because you got to have those shoulders when you're a superhero. And as I say, this, and I know there's people who are going to be like, where did he get that from? And I'll leave the link to this. It's on Amazon. I sent it to a couple people, and I think it's down to 80. It's either $89 or $98. And right now, this arm will not bend. It's bending backwards. This is crazy. See, this thing, it does what it wants to do. After the first year, it started to just freak out on me and do, because I was bending it earlier, and it was, like 5 minutes ago, and it was fine. Okay, there we go. It just freaks out after a while. You could, because I would let this thing sit on my shelf for months. I bought it and I didn't want to use it. I didn't want to dirty it. I was afraid. Now this arm is messing up. This is kind of freaky. So as I said, I bought it and I didn't want to really use it to mess it up. So I let it sit on the shelf for months at a time. And then I said, hey, I spent all that money on this. Why not use it? So there you go. Okay, I don't know. You have to learn how to figure this thing out. But after a while, without even using it, you turn it one day and the shoulder will do just some weird stuff, really weird stuff. But it's on Amazon. I think it's either $89 or $98, and then they have females that you could use as well. And I'm trying to get some light so you guys can see the muscle structure. And this is really good for people that are trying to learn the anatomy. But as I say, there are little things like this doesn't scrunch up. This little piece does not scrunch up where it's supposed to scrunch up, but for the basic, just to learn it, it's really good. It's kind of worth it. But one thing I wanted to say about this is, don't try to connect all your muscles. And this is from the back. If you put the arm up, like I said, this is like this shoulder pad, little raindrop piece. If you bring your arm up, don't try to connect every muscle, because if you don't know the true connections, then you're overdoing it. It looks bad. You're overdoing it. Like this, for instance. Take this. Let's cover this guy for the time being. Like this. This is nice and muscularly, but he doesn't have all those ripped, defined extra pieces, and you don't need that. That's good enough to be a superhero. Once you get to know how the muscles go, then you can add all these extra cuts and connect everything. But in the beginning, you just want basically the shape. And I did this. This was for YouTube, one of my old YouTube videos. Look it up online and you'll see it. I don't remember the name of it. Maybe I'll put it in there. Again, this is good. This is more, more defined. So, but in the beginning, all you need is this. Once you put your costume or uniform or clothes on them, you won't see all that ripply muscle stuff that you see here, because you really don't need that much. You don't need that much. And so like the last one is like this. This guy is nice. You say, oh, that looks nice. I wish I could draw my character like that. You can draw him like that. You don't need to connect the bicep and, the delts and all of this stuff and have every ab in there, because you just need the basic shapes for the muscle, the roundness for the muscle. When you get better and you know how the muscles go, then you can do that. So, but for now, don't worry about, like I said, connecting every line to where it's got to be right. Just do your muscles, and then later on you'll be able to do that. So just learn right now. We're just learning the torso and how the delt goes. So, all right, let's get back to the program. And if you didn't notice, this was just a cut doing editing I saw, and I just added this piece to it. So let's get back. Same thing with the arm. Once you put the arm up, this goes in the back. This is in the back, so it kind of wraps around here. I don't know if you can see that, but this piece, it wraps around the inside, which is now the inside. Yeah, until you bring it back down like this. When you lift that arm up, this piece is kind of like this. Just that little cup, and then you have all arms. So when you bring it up, you're going to see your triceps, and then your elbow up here, and then the rest of your arm here. You see this is it right here. It comes all the way across here, and it goes down into your chest. So this is your delt right here. And then it goes down into your chest, and your lats are connected to the end of that, your ribs, and then you'd have that little underarm showing. And of course, your head is up in here somewhere. But oftentimes, if you're drawing, as I say, you won't do too many side positions. You'll have a 3/4 where you're going to see some of the back, or you're going to see some of the chest. All right, so the secret of drawing or doing anything is doing it over and over and over and over again. That's the only way. It's the same way doing this over. I've done this over and over and over and over and over again too. Basically, I don't need to do it anymore, or I don't have to follow the steps because I know, what I'm doing. And the same thing with drawing. So you should have been practicing that one from the first video over and over again. And with this one, just pause the video. Let me pull out a little bit. Pause the video and then just pick one and just draw it over and over and over again. Because as I say, this is not going to change. You'll always have the oval. You'll always have that. You'll always have that center line. It's just your collarbones. If you want your arms up, you put your collarbones up. If you want your arms down, then your collarbones are straight. If you want one arm up or higher, collarbone goes up or higher. This one goes straight. So, and your collarbone leads right to that thing. So you have your collarbone here, and then you have your delt. Always, delt leads into the collarbone. Collarbone leads into the delt. The collarbone is just going to go off of the circle here. The delts are going to always be off the circle. And then, remember, it's just like that teardrop, and it goes into the chest. Teardrop goes into the chest like that. And then the arm tucks under that. And the way this is, your head is here, which means it's scrunched up your shoulder. This one, you have a little bit of shoulder left. So, practice that. Pause this video. Like I said, I'm going to pull back. Look at some of this stuff and just practice that. Let's see if I can actually even pull back. No, because I have it on auto lock. Okay, so it's on auto focus lock, because if I don't, the thing will jump up and down. So just practice these. You can pause this and say, okay, I want to draw that. I want to try to draw that. I want to draw that. And then turn around and you pause this and try to draw this and try to draw that. But go with circles. You always use your circles first. I'm using a different pen. Oval, collarbone, and then use your circle. Even if you have to center line, collarbone, use a circle like that. The circle is going to be under the collarbone anyway. So if the collarbone is up here, then you're going to have your circle. Circle's going to touch your shoulder like that. So that, and then you can do this. You got that, and then, well, yeah, curve that, and then curve in. Remember, like I said, it's going to have that, like that shape. This has a touch because your collarbone stops right about here and it connects to this. Collarbone stops right here off that circle, a little bit off that circle, and it connects to that, and your arms tuck underneath of it. Everything else stays the same. One piece. Arm, 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 arm. Arms connect, and then if you have your thick lats, your lats will come out a little bit because you have this, and then your lats will come from there. Basically, this is coming around here. Then you have your lats. And then, of course, that, and your head is not going to get scrunched up. So if you put your head here, where your head belongs, and your neck, you'll see that it compacted that shoulder. The shoulder pushes up against that. So, yeah, use your circles for the arms to start with, and we're going to get into the arms more. And when we get into the arms, then I'll get more into the delts and how they connect and so forth. So yeah, okay. So hopefully I know this video probably went over 30 minutes, 50 minutes, but learning is important, right? Okay, say goodbye. Goodbye. So class is over. My camera just reached its maximum limit, so it's going to be a skip right before this. But anyway, class is over. Throw in the pen. I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. If I did, I'll put it in the next lesson. All right, I'm out.